places that might be open are like gas stations, convenience stores. Like they'll be like, no, you're not walking into like a fucking clothing store and buying clothes on New Year's Day.
I like going to Sears.
Yeah, like none
By
of
the
those
way,
places will be open.
I think there's only like 2 Sears open.
And in the world now?
No, at least here in the States.
I know this.
I haven't seen one up here for over a decade.
You can still go to Sears.com.
Do they still have a
that.
wish book?
There's also CircuitCity.com. RadioShack.com is still active.
Dude, we should just get into the episode because this is a good topic.
Yeah. So with all of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get active and get into a Shedtime podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime Podcast.
There's the buzzer, and you know what that means. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There are some weird dead companies that still are active right now. I've actually seen some videos of people who have made purchases from the existing RadioShack.com and CircuitCity.com. I'm just going to say to you, listeners, don't bother. Don't make any purchases from these people. My basic understanding of the situation is that when these companies folded, people bought up the naming rights so that they could have the domains and stuff, and from there they're basically just selling cheap, China dropship junk to people. And I mean, that's what we have Wish for. We don't need somebody to buy from Wish and then upcharge us because it's a Radio Shack label.
True.
I'm just,
Just as bad as all the Temu shit.
Oh my God. I will say,
not on that, bro.
I've seen some sick pulls from people's buying on Temu, and I have seen some absolute garbage. But I feel the same way about Wish. Like, I have bought absolute trash and been outright scammed.
Oh, I definitely gotten some fake cotton bacon off Wish.
Dude, I've seen some like pretty cool things off like those websites like Temu. I saw like this cooler. There was like a cooler with wheels, and it had like fold out sides, so you could like make a fucking table, but you could still open the fucking cooler. Like,
that's dope.
I mean, it looked pretty cool. Whether or not it was quality, I mean, who fucking knows? Probably not. But dude, you can order some fucking crazy shit off those fucking places.
Well, in this vein, by the time our listeners are hearing this, we'll have already done this. But on the show, The Green Room, we have a game that we're going to be doing that I've gone and plumbed the internet for some wild shit, and we're going to be challenging the panel to guess how much. And let me tell you, boys, I hope you're ready to laugh. I hope you're ready to cry. I have found some really cool shit, some really absurd shit, and some just downright, like, I don't know why, like it has to be a troll. It definitely is a troll. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally just somebody seeing what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm excited to show that. So check out The Green Room over on the Frame Shakeland Vapor channel if you haven't checked us out. It's a live show that we do on every Friday night over on YouTube. So you get a live taste of what we do here. If you have never seen it, go check it out. Replays are always available on the channel as well. But yeah, dude, there's some weird shit on the internet. I mean, one of the things I saw that's not going to be included in this was a lip plumper. And if anybody's ever seen a fleshlight, it basically just looked like a fleshlight with lip shapes in it that you're supposed to like suction cup to your lips to like, yeah.
Dude, everybody knows that there's a vacuum for that, bro.
Have you ever
Use
seen
the
like
vacuum and just fucking put that shit on?
Have you ever
yourself.
seen the fails from that though? Or people do that and they keep them on too fucking long and then they fucking pull them off and their lips are literally just fucking purple, fucking huge flaps of fucking skin because all the blood just gets sucked into their lips. It looks fucking terrible, bro.
Like, why bother? You know what I mean? Like, I
don't understand it either.
It straight up reminds me of like somebody in like an Adam Sandler comedy with like bee stings. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
That's what it's like, dude. It's fucking
Well, it's just like, at what point do you realize that you should just be happy with what you got? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, at what point are you like,
that's just
I
not the way
can't really
society
change
works,
this.
bro.
like it should? Like,
I know.
people
I agree 100%.
should think about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand it.
It's like I was just thinking about it, kind of on the same vein. It's like, you know, when you're growing up as a kid and you see all these like all other kids that have things that you may not have, or they're going on trips or doing things that you're not able to do, and for some reason we build it up in our heads that those kids are better than we are because they have access to these things, but in reality it has nothing to do with the kid itself. It's just the environment that kid's being brought up in, where we all, like, when we're kids, we look at someone and we think they're like fucking big and fucking successful and fucking cool because of what their parents can provide to them. But in reality, it has nothing to do with the kid themselves.
Oh, dude, how many
You know what I
people
mean?
have a story about a fucking shit ass rich kid that they knew? A lot, probably.
That's what I'm saying.
everybody.
It's just crazy though that, like, you know, even as young kids, we are like almost built to think that way. You know what I mean? That just because someone has more or whatever, that they are somewhat quote unquote better or whatever. When in reality, we're all just fucking people just living in different situations.
I mean, that's capitalism, baby. Eat or be eaten.
I've been
Make the
having a
most.
lot of like thoughts like that lately, of just about like how the world works and just like what actually really matters in the grand scheme of what society makes it out to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, the parallels and like how much like the big, like whatever's big and popular that everybody wants or fucking thinks they need. And I'm starting to think now, it's like, I really don't need any of that shit. You know, it's like, I just want to be able to survive, be happy, and, you know, be surrounded by people I love. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't really need all that much really for that to be possible.
You remind me of a period in my life where I went through an existential crisis, and I genuinely just felt like the best solution to everything was to get rid of basically all of my worldly possessions.
Dude, Sean,
and just go build a little shack in the middle of the woods and disappear from society. Hunt
Dude,
for
I've
food.
been thinking about not that necessarily, but just unloading a bunch of shit that I really don't need or use, that's just taking up space. You know what I mean? That's like, if I haven't had a need for it, a use for it, or have let alone touched it in the last year or two, I don't need it anymore. It's kind of like where I'm at, where I'm thinking, to where it's like, all right, I'm going to be off for a week for Christmas. And I think like 3 or 4 of those days, I'm literally just going to like fucking tear down my closet, get rid of a bunch of fucking shit, reorganize it, and then slowly just start doing that in like sections of my room. Like, next thing will be my desk, and then it'll be, you know, my little fucking cabinet and bookshelf I've got over here, and then, you know, it'll be, you know, the shelf behind me and my fucking hat and shoe cabinet underneath, and fucking getting that all cleared out and just do.
You're reminding me of that really big trend that went on for a while, that chick Marie Kondo, where it was like to declutter your life. The idea was to look at all of these different things around you and be like, does this object bring me joy anymore? And if it doesn't, all right, we don't need it anymore.
Well, it's just, dude, because like I was mainly thinking about it because there's like 2 stackers, like two of those 3 drawer Rubbermaid stackers, like the deep ones in my closet. And I can't tell you the last time I grabbed anything out of any 6 of those drawers. And they have literally been in there since we've moved in this house.
Yep.
So it's like everything in those drawers can get fucking tossed pretty much.
Goodwill
you know what I
that
mean?
shit. Something, right? If it's any good, Goodwill it. At least then too, like when you do, like I'm a big, fan of Goodwill because like, that you're doing something good with these things that you have. Some of the money that these people are making go to humanitarian efforts, but then beyond that, the money that Goodwill makes also helps to sustain the company and the organization because they are a nonprofit. So it's a good thing because the more money that they can produce, the more good they can do in all the communities that they operate in. Not only that, but then from a flip perspective, kind of jumping back to where we started with the like, you could buy some wild shit on the internet. Goodwill also has a website. You can go buy some shit. Yeah, dead ass. Wow. Goodwill has a website, and you can go online and like, let's say you want to buy a used Xbox 360 or Xbox S or whatever. You can go looking on this Goodwill website, and if they've got one, and mind you, like this website caters to only their like top tier quality things that they've taken in all over the country. You're able to buy them like an eBay site. So some are actual auctions, some are buy now. But yeah, you can get some cool shit for relatively easy money. So if there are things you're looking for, it is a way to help an organization and get yourself a good deal, which I think is wild. Because I mean, I think of it like this. Maybe you got, a little 10-year-old nephew or something. You want to get him like a little like Nintendo DS or whatever. You could probably find one on Goodwill for like $100 or whatever, and just get it in, make sure it's all clean, it actually fully works. Bam, you got a little gift for your little nephew. That easy. Bam. You know what I mean? Like, it's sick that these things exist and that you can actually get some good shit. Not to mention, I have bought some dope CDs at the Goodwill. You know how many people have traded in their CD collections into a Goodwill, and you could just come up with some absolute bangers that are just not being pressed anymore?
Dude, like this is okay. So the things I can remember buying at Goodwill or like up here, there's like a really big thrift store called Value Village. Okay. And I'm pretty confident the only thing I've ever bought was stuff for an apartment, like dishes, cups, cutlery, right? And ashtrays. I used to go just to buy ashtrays like once every 6 months. I would just go into like this local Value Village. I'd look for like some like either incredibly cheesy or fucking, to me, like mega dope shit. And I would just spend like $5-10 on a fucking dope ass ashtray, and I'd bring it back to my apartment, and I'd like rotate the one that I had out, and I'd like use this new ashtray. Dude, I actually had this one once that had it was like a big fucking ashtray. Like it must have been for like a high end kind of business dude, and it was like probably like 8 inches wide, and there was like a 6-inch fucking plane, and the plane had like ridges on the fucking wings so you could like rest your cigarette. But it used to be dope because it would sit right on like my my like side table beside my chair, and I just like did the classic. I'd like ash, and then I'd like spin my cigarette to like, like to like fucking flatten out the sides of like the fucking cherry, and then I'd just let it sit there or like whatever. I don't know. It was cool shit. I think I paid like $10 for it, and that's like that's what I bought. And then recently, actually, I've bought three fitted sheets for my bed because they're fucking $3. and you can get them in like really good shape. And to buy like even the shittiest brand new versions that after like 2 or 3 fucking washes, it's like they're almost see-through. It's like $30 because you have to get like a fitted sheet and a flat sheet. I never use a flat sheet. I use a duvet and I use and I just wash it all once a week.
I have bought some fitted sheets that are only fitted sheets, but I think they're usually just the cheap, shitty ones.
Yeah, and they're still like $20-$30. Like, and they don't last super long.
I'm a Walmart shopper, bro. I think they were like 10.
Yeah, then up here they're way more money.
But legit, like you're not wrong. After like 2 washes, you've already worn holes in them, and they're pretty much useless. And so then at that
you would
rate,
go through like a set, or a fitted sheet like every 2 months if you were using like the cheapest ones. And so like these are like quality ones. They're like from the Bay, which you guys don't know, but like it's like a nicer fucking version of Sears in my opinion, but it's a Canadian one and they have like quality shit. They're like the ones that always like will they'll like clothe the Olympians.
Oh, they're that fancy. Gotcha.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I've got those for $3 fucking, bro, and it has the tag still on it. Like
that's the other crazy shit, right? Is that like some of those places, people have like just unopened stock, you know? People who maybe bought 3 of something they liked and never opened a package of it. You know, Chris? You know those kind of people?
Yeah, I definitely do. I am familiar.
Yeah, and so sometimes those people are like, you know, I'm never going to use this fully packaged item, and they donate that one to Goodwill. And leave a brand new item, like still in factory sealed packaging, and you're getting it at like a steal. I had a grandmother when I was growing up. Rest in peace to Charlotte. She was a unique individual, to say the least. But she bought like everything in like the 5s or 10s. So like this woman always had like 10 rolls of aluminum foil. She'd have like 12 of the same can of kidney bean, 12 of the same can of this, 12, like, I don't know what it was, but she wanted everything in multiple quantities, even though like realistically there was no need to have that much of some of those things. But again, when you have people like that, sometimes you got a lot of things you can give to a Goodwill because there's a lot of them.
Well, hey, man, if it makes you happy, you know.
I mean, listen, like I said, the woman was a very interesting woman. And again, this is my grandmother. This is a woman who grew up with parents in the Depression. I'm kind of not surprised, you know, in hindsight, the whole stockpiling thing.
Dude, that whole comment was just a joke for myself because I looked at Discord and seen that Chris is listening to Sheryl Crow if it makes you happy. So I just said it.
Just came on.
I know. So that's the only reason why I said it. I saw it. I was like, well, if it makes you happy. And I was waiting to see if Chris was going to react.
No, dude, I wasn't.
But he didn't.
Because I didn't even fully like acknowledge that it was even on. The radio the fucking radio DJ did me dirty.
He's like, hey, I know you like all of this like rock music. Here, have a corny Sheryl Crow song.
Yeah. So now I've selected it because once it does me like that dirty, then I have to fucking turn it off. But then I listen to what I want to listen to for like a day or two. If I then go back to fucking like the fucking Spotify DJ, he'll like they will pump out shit for me that I fucking like. It's really weird. It's like if you just like listen to it long enough, eventually it just starts working in weird shit. And then, so that's what I've noticed. Cause I remember we had this conversation before and like, it like threw me into like this loop about French shit. And it was like all French music. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I didn't think much of it. And I went back. And then after a certain amount of time, it starts to like go into like weird shit.
I really think it's the same algorithm. I think it's just the same algorithm they've always used. They just put the little voiceover pieces in now, and they're like, "Hey, we have an AI DJ. Here you go." It's just like when you like finish listening to an album and it just keeps going.
Dude, that happened to me today, for instance, because I was listening to Kendrick's new album, GNX. There's some bangers on there, bro. There's some bangers, and if you really listen to it and you catch some of the references that he's making some deep fucking like cultural pulls that are pretty fucking legit.
Kendrick's bars are on a different level.
There's a song I want you to listen to, Sean. It's called Reincarnated. And I want to tell me who you think he sounds like on that song whenever you get a chance.
I've already heard people talking about this.
You need to listen
unfortunately, I've already been influenced.
So then you already know that he sounds so much like Pac on this song, bro. It's fucking crazy. Because you know how Pac, like how he fucking spit, dude. Like he had a very specific tone and cadence to his voice.
So somebody broke down that aspect of different rappers, and the fact that
it's exactly that. It was that whole thing, like the way he fucking elongates on certain phrases. He takes from Martin Luther King.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got that like, I was born a young black child. Yeah. Like, dude, he's got that like orators delivery.
That's literally how Kendrick sounds on this song, and it's pretty sick because he still sounds like Kendrick, obviously. But like sometimes you're like, wait, like this sound like something Pac would, it would have spit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he's literally like, fucking honing Pac in that moment. You know what I mean? It's pretty sick. And the whole concept of the song too is pretty dope. But dude, what I liked about this album from Kendrick too, just like on a side note, is that you hear it's like almost kind of like you were getting with like the beef tracks, where you're getting so many tastes of Cali, bro, from LA to the Bay. You know what I mean? Like you hear the influences. Like there's one song on there that sounds like I wasn't super impressed with. I like the song because like it is kind of like it's a catchy one, dude. And there's a couple lines in it that I'm like, okay. But it sounds a lot like Not Like Us, just on a slightly different beat. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, that one didn't hit as hard. But then there's a couple on there, bro, where I'm like, okay, Kendrick. Because like he's hitting all kinds of different stuff. It's not like a one, flow style through the whole album. He's like from one song to the next, he's doing something different. And I can vibe with it.
He's a genuine artist, and it's crazy. On the subject of Kendrick, I don't know if you've heard this news, but Drake has filed
suing him.
Legal actions due to Kendrick Lamar roasting him so badly.
I was hearing there's like a bunch of these like hip hop influencers that like either will review songs as they come out or just like talk on like the culture and stuff like as they're going on. And this one dude's like, he's like, for Drake, he's like, to be honest, man, this is the most Jewish shit he's ever done. Oof. It's like, oh shit, dude, that's not fucking cool, bro.
But I mean, in all seriousness, like he's not actually suing the label yet. But the whole thing is that he's filed a legal action. It's a preliminary action against UMG, Universal Music Group, given the fact that both Kendrick and Drake are represented by Universal, and he feels like Universal acted in a proprietary way to push Kendrick and thereby defame and harm Drake.
That's hilarious because the label had nothing to do with the success of that song.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Drake had plenty of chances to come back with another one and try to do the same thing, bro. The fact is, he couldn't. Like, the nail was in the coffin already, bro. Like, you woke the monster, bro. And unfortunately, the monster ate.
Yep. Take your L and go home and come back when you're ready to be a big boy. Go play in your sandbox with your little pop artists.
Go out there, keep making your club hits, bro.
Yeah. Don't try to fuck
Just
with the
know
gutter.
that you fucked up.
You know, don't try to fuck with the gutter unless you're ready to get spit on.
Yeah.
Because when
You know
get,
what's like, can I just say this as a person that's like really never been involved in any of this stuff? I really don't get it. I just like don't get diss tracks. I don't get like the beefs that people have. Like it seems so strange to me. But like I appreciate that it's like a part of the culture, because like it's not like it's just these guys are the first ones to ever have fucking beef tracks. I just don't fully understand it, I guess.
it literally transcends genre and runs through music history. The diss track and response track has been a thing through a lot of music history, and there are some huge hits, including songs by Michael Jackson.
Sweet Home Alabama?
You know
That's a diss track?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And he
I
calls him out
I just learned it a couple months ago that song was actually like a
calls
response.
him out by name.
Yeah.
I hope Neil Young will remember a Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Like, calls him out by name, and it's a smash.
I totally get what you're saying, Chris. I personally don't understand the beef situation really either. It's like you're both fucking out there making money. Who the fuck
like you're
cares?
both famous, you're both rich.
Why
Like,
can't
if
you
have
win together? You know?
Fucking,
But
even
dude,
if you have
but-
problems, dude, just fucking send
Here's
them
the
a
thing-
message, bro. Be like,
Oh, yeah.
"Yo, listen, chill the fuck
But
out."
the thing is now, like, especially nowadays, like fucking conflict is such a fucking,
It clearly
attention
sells.
grabber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I think that's the reason why Drake tried to go in on this. He thought it'd work out a little bit better for him, and it totally backfired. Back in the day, it was a little bit more about just like fucking people wanted to be number fucking one. But dude, there's a long period like after like Pac and Biggie where you'd hear like little things here and there, but it was pretty peaceful across the bases for a while. But then,
Nas and Jay-Z, man.
yeah, that was a good one.
That ignited a whole new era of rap battles.
Yeah, because that was just New York, bro. It wasn't like a fucking
Yeah.
a location thing or anything like that.
And that's the thing, right? Like I think Nas and Jay-Z is a good one to look at because it came down to who gets to claim the king of New York as a MC.
I kind of I think I have to like.
I'm still saying Nas to this day.
I think it's just like, don't get me wrong. I love Jay. Like there's obviously there's a lot of great Jay tracks out there and stuff. And like, there was a period, bro, where when him and Kanye West hooked up together and they're doing like the Watch the Throne, bro. You know how hard I bumped that album, bro?
Dude, the early Blueprints, Blueprint 1?
Blueprint 3 was one of my favorites, bro. But dude, I used to fucking bang that shit so hard, bro. But then, like, I don't know. I just never really got into it. And then it's crazy. Like, in my older, years, I've stumbled across more Nas. And, dude, like, he's just more of a lyricist, bro. Like, the fact that this motherfucker put out his song and told an entire story in reverse.
Yep.
And it made sense.
Yep. Or a couple of my favorites actually from Nas, Shoot 'Em Up. All right.
Great song.
First and foremost, for the music theory nerds out there, this is a song that is written in a waltz. How many people are rapping in a 3/3 time? None. 3/3/4, like nobody's doing that. And he's out here 144, 245, 3 loaded clips, 4 loaded guns. What? Like, and again,
I hear
telling the whole
Christmas
story,
carols, bro.
like literally telling the whole story of a robbery gone wrong. Same goddamn album, he raps a whole song about being the prison walls, watching an inmate as they sleep and live, and telling the story of the prison inmates living in that cell, and how after you die in this cell, there's going to be another one just like
The
you.
dude's perspective is just crazy.
Not to mention, multi-talented. The man has worked with Damian Marley and produced records. The man has worked with his own father and made jazz hip-hop fusion because his own father is a famous jazz trumpet player. Like, unbelievable. And then intellectual mind as well when you listen to the lyrics. Like, he's got some intellect that he infuses through everything as well that
Oh,
Nas has to be the king of New York.
speaking of kings, he's still the king of the West Coast. Snoop, have you heard any of the new Snoop Dre snippets that have been teased
I haven't.
for the new Missionary album?
I haven't.
Dude, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited because it's like old but new. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that old sound because it's still Dre and Snoop, but it's got like that like kind of newer Dre production feel.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
I mean, Dre don't need to just sample the Isley Brothers anymore. Like, the whole world is at his fingertips nowadays. Like, when we think about classic Dre, like, everybody goes back to the Chronic. And we think about that production. And, like, that's such great production, even to this day. But yeah, now what Dre does is just
What's
At
even
a
more
whole new
exciting
level.
is that there's it's confirmed that there is a track with Dre, Snoop, and 50.
I love that through everything, M has never abandoned 50.
Oh, well, it's because 50 is always fucking. He's never done wrong to M. He's always stood by his side and fucking rocked with them.
Like, legit, like, the loyal bond that they have between each other is amazing.
It's like what Dre and M have. You know what I mean? It's like the
Exactly.
same relationship.
Yeah. I also love that M treats it like a literal job, and like he's in the studio from 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally like a 5 o'clock hits, and he's like, all right, my time's up. I'll see you in the morning.
Dude, he's the
Like-
type of person, he don't leave the house, bro, unless he has to. That's why he doesn't tour that much, bro, because he doesn't really like to be out.
I mean, on top of that, he's one of those artists that he could just produce, like, realistically in today's age, Adam doesn't have to make albums if he doesn't want to anymore. He can drop a new single every month, and that would just keep everybody pacified for the rest of his desire to ever make music. And when he wanted to go tour, he could just build sets out of the classics and the 20, 30 new singles that he's dropped over that period of time. And again, like, who's not going to have a good time at an M show? Like, if you're
Honestly,
paying,
even I probably would enjoy Eminem show. Like, I mean, I'm not really like a huge Eminem fan or anything, but I mean, he has enough tracks that like I fuck with, so I would probably have a good time.
I feel like that's also one of those shows that, like, you when you see Eminem performing, I feel like you have a way to appreciate the art form of hip hop because you see the craft, actually being performed by the human being. Like, listening to people rap on record is cool, but like actually witnessing it, seeing the breath control, witnessing them, get out of breath a little bit, how they save it, to, how they flip a line sometimes because it's easier to perform at the pace they're doing live. Like, that shit's cool as hell. Even when like artists will speed it up by 5 or 10 beats per minute just to give it that extra like punch live. Like, I know lots
Just
of rock
live
bands
music in
that do
general
it.
is
Like,
amazing, though. You know what I mean?
I know I'm itching for more. If you can't tell.
Dude, it's
Like-
been so long since I saw like live music. Like, that is my taste. I've seen some live music. Like, I went last summer with my dad. We went to like some like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like East Coast band with like the lead singer was probably like 70. Everybody in his band was probably in their 60s, except there was like a 15-year-old girl that played violin, and she absolutely shredded it. And like it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like I was like fucking, I was feeling it. I was just like, yo, this is pretty good. Man, that girl can fucking rip that fucking fiddle or
like you want to go see just some like
shit that's more my speed. Even just
like
rock.
Give me a local punk band or something, Give me the 19-year-olds fresh out of high school that are hoping to make it big one day. Like, let me just see those kids for a minute. I'll be happy.
Yeah, like let me go to like a fucking Legion or some shit and watch a band, the Battle of the Bands.
Like honestly, I haven't seen one of those kind of shows, like Battle of Local Bands shows, in so long, and like some of those are so much fun. I remember doing one. They held it at this convention center that was attached to a water park, which fucking brilliant because it was like a 2-day event at this convention center that was part hotel, part water park. So brilliant. And it was like 100 local metal/rock bands across the 2-day event, all battling it out for, the big prize. And it was really cool to like see a lot of bands that I already knew because of being in the scene and those people getting into it, but then hearing other bands, and then now you see them at another local live show, you find other, like, the branches from there. Super cool.
Dude, speaking
I missed that shit.
Super cool, dude. I found some new trolleys, bro. Trolleys.
Oh yeah, how are those?
sour
I see the
bursting.
corners off.
Yeah.
Is it like a gusher trolley thing?
Yes, dude.
Oh.
So it's literally your standard trolley gummy worm that's just got like a fucking line of some fucking gooey stuff in the inside. So of course there's 4 different flavors. It's going to be hard to read, but you got cherry pineapple, blue raz, strawberry grape, and then mango fruit punch.
Oh shit, those all sound amazing.
So I got one of each one here. I'm going to eat one and then kind of give you guys a lowdown on them. Which one should I start with?
Save the mango for last. So
Let's start with the strawberry grape one.
I'm going to say, the one with the grape. I'm curious about that.
So, like, as you can see, like, there's, like, fucking little, like, line of some gel going through it. I don't know if I'm a huge, like, strawberry and grape.
How's the chewing part though? Like, how's the mouthfeel, James? With the gooiness in the middle and like the sour stuff on the outside.
Like the gooiness isn't like super crazy. It's almost just kind of like it's pretty like liquidy. It's not like sticky, like like super like thick and viscous, I guess. The gummy worm almost kind of feels like it's a little bit tougher. Maybe because they're thicker. Like it's a pretty thick, gummy. This is the cherry pineapple. I feel like this one should bang. Cherry, ooh, that pineapple. It just like burst and like coated the tongue there.
Are we getting a tart pineapple or a sweet pineapple?
Sweet pineapple, tart cherry.
Ooh.
Because the cherry's the gummy. Pineapple's the inside.
What are we seeing, Chris?
Ooh.
Sour OG cookies, my dude. Good choice.
Dude, I will tell you, I just cracked this. This was not to interrupt you, James. I want to hear more.
Oh, you're good.
But that's just the flavors that I'm dealing with. And I'll tell you what, in the Dynavap right now, it's fucking
Dude, so far the cherry pineapple, fire, bro, fire. Blue raz, strawberry.
I don't know if I'll like that either.
I mean, that's just a mixed berry at that point.
Yeah, but
That's kind of what it tastes like, Sean.
yeah,
Just like a mixed berry gummy.
it
like,
doesn't
fruit
feel like
snack.
they'd be like too far apart that like it would.
Because like I'm convinced
Definitely
at
more
this
blue
point.
raz than the strawberry, but
I'm just convinced at this point that the flavor blue raz is blueberry raspberry, and just
I believe so.
marketing blue raz.
So this
So,
one's
like-
last fruit punch mango.
So it's got to be mango the outside, I assume, right?
That better slap.
Mango on point. The fruit punch kind of gives it like a tropical feel. You know what I mean?
Like a tropical
Like,
Hawaiian
ooh,
punch vibe
yeah,
almost.
Yeah. It's like, because obviously you get more of the gummy flavor first, because that's the first thing that hits your fucking tongue. And then as you're like chewing it, the little gel kind of like mixes in, and then it like kind of blends with it. I have to say, the cherry pineapple might be my favorite, but this is second. Because that cherry pineapple slaps.
I'm excited
The
to try
texture, though,
those.
the texture is kind of, it is kind of slightly different. Like when you put it in, you're not expecting for it to all of a sudden be slimy. You know what I mean? Because it's not like slimy in your hand, and then you bite into it, and then like the gel oozes up.
Yeah, I feel like your brain expects it to be like a regular glowworm, and it's
So
not.
like that half second, you're kind of like, ooh, whoa, that's weird.
Like, why is it hollow? Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And then you taste it, and you're like, oh, that's why, because it's different flavor on the inside. I still think, Sean, the electric ones are better, personally. I'd still grab a pack of those over these.
That blue lemon is fucking insane in that pack. That's definitely a favorite of
Still
mine.
the mango dragon fruit, dude. That's my favorite for sure.
I do have some other cool news in the snack world, though.
What you got?
And it ties in directly to Trolley. So, you know, I'm always on top of the breaking shit, and allegedly we've now got the answer that the candy company that Mountain Dew has teamed up with coming in 2025 is Trolley.
Oh.
We're getting a Trolley Bright Crawler inspired Mountain Dew,
Ooh.
and it's going to be Trolley Strawberry Lemon.
That might be fire.
So the red and yellow Bright Crawler as a Mountain Dew flavor,
That might be kind of fire, because you get like a strawberry lemonade vibe.
right? With that extra citrus notes of Mountain Dew. That's going to be crazy.
I'll be popping.
I'm very excited for that.
I would, yeah, I'll definitely try that.
I'm not sure, because the last I had read in on this collaboration was going to be replacing Voodoo.
So it's basically like this year's Voodoo.
What's that?
It's basically like 2025's Voodoo.
Right. They're not going to do the
so to
mystery.
speak.
Yeah, they're not going to do the mystery. The last I had read, the 2025 Halloween Mountain Dew collaboration was going to be with a major candy company, and it was going to be the first time they actually put the candy company's name on the label. Now I'm seeing this mock-up of a can with the Trolley logo on it for this flavor. So if all of this does come to fruition, that may be the case. That is our Halloween limited release in 2025. And I am here for it.
Yeah, I think I'm here for it also.
I'm also excited to say I finally got my hands on some Game Fuel citrus cherry, and it is just as good as I remember.
Fire, right?
Oh my God. Like, I haven't had that since the first release of it way back when. I still remember living at my father's house, being in the basement with my little stepbrother, and us crushing bottles of that because we were like, dude, this might be the best, random flavor that they've done in a while. I'm very gassed. I will say very disappointed because I went to a Dollar General looking to get my hands on the Maui Burst, and there was none. But at least I left victorious by being able to walk out with a Game Fuel. So it wasn't for complete waste. Plus,
yeah, you'll find all the specials there.
It was a real good deal on some Nerds clusters, so you know your boy had to grab some for the weekend.
Dude, honestly, that's my place I go for drinks and snacks. I'll go to Dollar General because it's cheap. Because, dude, you can go there and get like 3 12 packs sometimes for like $14.
And it's all name brand shit. Like that was, I think, the biggest misconception I had. Right?
No, it's all legit stuff. It's just discounted because it's either overstock or, whatever. And dude, I'll go there and grab some. I would say though, like if you're getting perishable stuff, just double check dates sometimes. But
yeah, I've seen some people get some questionable food items like that, like fresh food items from Dollar General. However, you can buy meat at Dollar General. Like, you can buy a steak at a Dollar General. People have done it. And apparently it tastes like a Dollar General steak would. But
yeah, you definitely can't get that up here. Their refrigerator section consists of like one cooler that has like maybe 20 different kinds of pop in a bottle. They have like multiple flavors of Mountain Dew, which is always good. Like that's where I could normally get like multiple flavors.
I love that just such a wild thing exists. I also found out that there's an interesting one I had never heard of called Supernova. And apparently Supernova was a strawberry melon dew that hit U.S. shelves in 2011.
I think I heard of it, but I don't know if I ever tried it.
Yeah.
Years ago, though, yeah.
Apparently there's also a very rare Mountain Dew that I found out about called Mountain Dew Baja Deep Dive. So apparently the backstory is that in 2022 there were codes under caps of Mountain Dew's Baja variants that could be submitted online to enter a giveaway for one of 18,000 six-packs of Baja Deep Dive. And it seems like everyone who entered won one of these packs. But it's just interesting because it's a mystery flavor. Nobody knows what the actual flavor was. And they only made them for this giveaway. So if you never tried to enter, you never got to try this flavor.
Did you know you can get like a $200 Mountain Dew mini fridge that holds up to 50 cans at Home Depot?
Yo, that's actually cool shit. Does it have like, is there something special about it, or is it just,
it says Mountain Dew on it and it's green?
Well, I mean on the inside, like if it was like made for like a regular 12-ounce can.
It's like made for cans, bro, and like it's got like a clear door. Ryan sent it to me in a message the other day, so I pulled it up on my.
Did it have it where you're like pulling them out the bottom and like they clink down and you load it from like the top?
No, it's more like just like shelves and you just like grab them out. But they're like perfectly sized for cans.
It's probably like an actual grocer's one.
The outside looked like an old school like refrigerator, dude. Like Google it.
I'm gonna pull this up because I'm interested. I'm also excited to announce that Mountain Dew has decided that in 2025 they're dropping the abbreviation and going back to spelling the word mountain. So that's pretty fucking exciting because I've been over the abbreviate everything. That's been a overused to death thing for a long time.
You did?
Bro.
You make me sound stupid, but I never really realized that the labels said MN or MTN.
Yeah. Yeah. They did it I can't remember how long ago now.
Probably about like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I would say it's probably been 10 or so years ago. So I found a few different Mountain Dew branded ones. I believe this is the one you're talking about, though, right here.
Like 209.
Yep, 209 at Home Depot. And that is a pretty sharp looking fucking Mountain Dew.
50 cans, bro.
Yeah. 50 can glass door, green, compact beverage fridge with the Mountain Dew logo. And like, I mean, really, if you ran like a little general store or some shit and you wanted to highlight Mountain Dew, like that'd be the perfect little like Mountain Dew countertop fridge.
Dude,
grab a can of Dew on your way out.
Perfect to have next to your desk, bro.
Yeah, if you're a true gamer who doesn't compromise, absolutely.
Dude, honestly, I was telling Ryan, like, dude, that thing looks like it'd be the perfect size where I could get that and put it on top of my other mini fridge. And then I could just have one just for soda. And then
Yeah,
that's
I like
the other one
these
I was
ones.
talking about, too. There's
dude,
that
yeah,
one.
I was just about to paste that. Yo, Sean, how much does that cost?
So this little one, now this
Yeah.
is the one that does like a six pack, just six
Yeah.
little 12-ounce cans. This
Probably
is
$40, $50, right?
less than $40 on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. It's $107 Canadian. And that's not the exchange, everybody out there.
Really?
Oh, well, that just could be the person that you're buying it from on Amazon.
Oh, I guess that could be
You
it.
might be able to find a listing for
Yeah,
it. cheap.
because like they sell it for like I think $30 or $40
Yeah,
at my
dude,
local
I scroll
Walmart.
down a little bit, and then they've got one right here that's a Coca-Cola one for $60.
I even
Right,
just
right,
found that same fridge we were looking at Home Depot on Amazon for $178 right here.
Yeah, that's 240 Canadian, that makes more sense. That's like closer to what it is. It's like $1.31 Canadian to a US dollar. So that makes sense.
Okay, this is just a refrigerator wrap. I really want the real thing, but that is pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, I want something that looks like that. That'd be sick.
Like,
It's
I'd
literally
love the
like a
real
tiny
vending machine.
Let's look at that.
Dude, I always wanted one that you just press the
Mini
button. Like you didn't have to put the coins in.
Vending.
You know, you just press a button and you're fucking good to go. That's what I always wanted, man.
Just a programming thing, if I recall.
No, but I would like, you know what I mean? Like I'd have to get that level of a machine. That's all.
Oh my gosh. So of course, because we live in this world now where like LED everything, right? RGBs for life. Here's a 126 can beverage cooler with hexacolor LED lights. They call it mini gaming fridge. I am.
Yeah,
in
dude,
awe.
I'm actually looking at one right now. It's like a Frigidaire and it looks just like a fancy tower also
Yeah, like I'm in awe.
for like your desk. So, and it has like RGBs. Same thing.
Like this is again like the same kind of cooler I would see at like the checkout counter
Yeah.
as
Oh,
I'm
okay,
checking out
the
at
one
the
I'm
store.
looking at is more like the other one.
Yeah, this is like
nine
a
cans, so maybe it's
$500 refrigerator that holds 126 cans of soda.
Yeah, it's similar to the one that Will has at his house.
Oh, here we go. I think I'm seeing the one that you're seeing, Chris. This one's got the like forever mirror in it too.
Flip your phone around.
So it's got
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Oh, damn,
Like,
that looks gnarly.
that is pretty cool looking and pretty trippy.
Well, that'd be good for like your desk, especially because lots of people have like the open fucking RGB and all that shit, glass sides of their like computer cases. It would kind of go with the flow.
I just appreciate the infinity mirror style that's going on, because like I could see myself being all shed timed up, staring at that thing, getting lost in the sauce as I'm just chiefing on a bag or something, and then being like, oh yeah, I've been staring at that thing for 10 minutes. I'm really high. I should probably stop chiefing on this bag. Oh man. Yeah, there's
Dude, there's actually some crazy. There's a Coca-Cola soccer ball mini fridge that holds 5 cans. And dude, it's a flat out soccer ball. There's a lot of interesting things, man.
I've seen some wild shit. Did you know that Disney once created a Pirates of the Caribbean DVD player?
No.
So, like, in the vein of like things shaped like things, this was basically the Pirates of the Caribbean logo. So you had a full-on ship's wheel on like a little pedestal with the skull logo in the center of the ship's wheel, and you would press a little button and it would release the front of this ship's wheel, so it would open like a book, and you had a standing disk drive that you would snap your DVD into and close it so you could watch your movie. Like, people made a lot of weird shit look like weird shit, and I'm kind of here for stuff like that.
The only problem is like when you get stuff like that, Sean, it's like when it's broken, it's broken. Because like there's nowhere that's going to like have the parts to fix it, or
so maybe
like when you get just like more, not necessarily that specifically, but like when you get those like really weird out there things that there's really not a lot of because it never hit, it's going to be hard. I feel, I could be wrong. I mean, I just feel like it'd be harder to get.
I mean, you're not wrong when you think about like the rarity aspect, but like some of those things, like the DVD player, people can swap the laser and the drive out easy enough. So like maybe that's salvageable. But like you're right. Like, I'm a big fan of like the weird shit. Like, remember the old school tabletop lighters, and they'd be shaped like a dog, and like you just like click it and it would light, or like it'd be a cannon. It would just sit on like someone's desktop. Like, I always loved shit like that.
Those things are kind of cool. I would agree with you there, though. Like, I think that they're pretty cool. I do like weird stuff, but like, I think that my price for weird stuff is not that high. Like, I don't know if I want it bad enough to pay a premium because it's like unique, or original.
I mean, I guess it depends on how unique and original, right? Like, there's got to be something in this world that I would pay a premium for because it's unique and original. But you're right. I don't think, as a generality, there's a lot I'd be like, yeah. Like, I got some old friends of mine that they run a business that is one part a piercing shop, but the other part is an oddity shop. So, like, we've had some friends in the vape community who would be their patrons, basically. You know what I mean? You want to buy a old lobotomy kit from the 1800s, they've probably got you covered. You want, petrified bat, they've probably got you covered. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've got all sorts of weird little oddities. These are the kind of people who would probably buy shrunken heads and sell them, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out to my friends who are into that. Like, I love going into those shops. I've never been like motivated to buy any, but I definitely think there's some cool shit.
In what shops? Sorry.
The weird oddity curiosity shops.
I don't go into those as much as I'll go into like the ones that have like the little fucking figurines and swords and like fucking old pictures and shit. You know, they got like where you can go get like the old picture of like Marilyn Monroe or like James Dean and shit. Every mall had one of these shops, and it's called like Dark Ages or some shit. And it had
Mystic
like
Forest, yeah.
You go get your fucking self a dragon statue, a fucking katana, and a picture of fucking James Dean, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, and fucking Daffy Duck playing poker.
Oh, and don't forget the wolf blankets. The whole wall of wolf blankets and a ton of those shops.
Yeah. You can also get yourself a brand new pocket knife as well as a BB gun.
Yep. Yep. And those Chinese bell balls that you could just roll around in your hand.
And every now and then you can find yourself a nice glass piece from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Some of them had some really interesting smokeware, in fact.
And they were always so cluttered, bro. There's so much shit in them, dude. Every shelf had like fucking 5 too many things on them.
Oh.
You're
They always had
by.
They always had the one wall that had the animated paintings that nobody wanted since like 1995. Remember those? It'd be like a waterfall that lit up in the background and it looked like fucking digital water. Like,
Yeah. Or they'd have the little mist machines, the ones that would like fucking turn like the little vapor and then, like fucking fall down like a little waterfall.
They always had a couple of stands that were just full of wind chimes.
Yep.
And if you're lucky, there was always like the one weird listening stand that had like playing out loud, random meditation, relaxation music.
Uh-huh.
So you'd have like tribal drums, mystic wind, ocean dreams. Like these would be the names of these albums. We used to have one in our mall when I was a kid growing up called Solitudes. And this place was fucking huge, dude. Like, they were a big enough chain. They were in a ton of different malls in this region, at least. And, like, they had their own relaxation cassette and CD collection. Because, you know, back in the 90s, so you still had cassettes as a major format. And they'd have, like, Call of the Loon and, you know, Rainstorm Night and just the weirdest shit like that. But I remember my family buying into that heavy and having like a big collection of these. And I'll tell you what, it did get you to sleep pretty goddamn fast. But man, it was like, you didn't just have the little like wall that was the wolf section. You had like a whole corner of a store that was like the wolf statues, the wolf blanket, the wolf t-shirt. And it was like, that place was something. I swear to God, my uncle probably still owns 10 or 15 t-shirts from that store.
Classic.
Anybody else in this world have that person in their life that like they always wore the wolf shirt or the tiger shirt or something like that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I had relatives like.
Dude, I'm like, I'm wearing a
sure.
fucking shirt that's like that style, but it's like a Freddy Krueger Jason one.
I see,
but I know exactly what you're
I
talking
see
about.
like an owl or some sort of bird on it, so it's still within the lines.
No, here, hold on. You'll see what I'm saying.
Wasn't there a bird swooping down on Jason right there? Oh no, sorry, that's fucking Freddy's legs. His fucking machete and Freddy's leg made the fucking V shape almost of like a bird wing.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
like, oh, I see a bird. Not even close.
I was like, I don't think that there's a bird on this.
These are the shirts I'm talking about. Like, my uncle to this day still rocks these jams. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody has someone in their life who is that person that rocked these kind of shirts.
You know what I think would be hilarious, Sean? Is if there was like a shirt like that, but instead of wolves, it was just like somebody else's face, but just in different fucking like, or like, you know what I mean? In different
it's like glamour
poses.
shop vibes.
Yeah, but it's still printed on the shirt the same exact way that is. You know what I mean? I think, dude, that would be fucking hilarious. Why has nobody done that?
I have a terrible idea that you've now inspired, and it involves our friend Will.
Dude, he would be the perfect specimen for it. Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
and he could be just dressed up and dude, wearing one of those shirts, because you know, like you're gonna have to take at least like 2 pictures that are kind of like backed up a little bit, just for, you know.
Yeah, because he's got to strike the like cheesy poses, you know. Look.
No, and he's gonna pose exactly like the wolf does. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna end up having to get down on all fours at some point, or like fucking crouching down and like.
Oh man, I'm loving this more and more. I'm loving this more and more. This is
going to be the best creation ever.
I'm so very tempted to start mining for photos of Will, and I already need to do it for one idea, so I might as well just do it for both of these things.
Dude, honestly, I will say that if we all rolled in to the meetup on like the Saturday with fucking shirts that were all like pictures of Will, like in the fucking classic this vibe we're talking about, I would probably piss my pants from laughter at the reactions.
Oh man, like, and on top of that, we'd be rolling in with a fourth member. My secret hidden guest who's coming along. So that's even funnier. And I could totally see about getting one for the secret guest as well. That would be gold. Oh my god, I have to get one for the secret guest. There's no two ways about it. Even if we don't all wear that shirt, I'd have to get one for the secret guest. Ah, this is too good. This is too good. I can't wait for the meetup. That's going to be some shenanigans, friends. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Steel Valley Vapors does a meetup every April, and we're all going again. So if you want to meet us, you're going to have your opportunity. We'll give you more details in the future as we get closer. But yeah, we're already planning to have a lot of fun. So y'all should get down with us. Ohio. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I've never been so excited about Ohio. Like, there's something amusing.
Put the O in Ohio,
right? Like, there's something so amusing about being like, yeah, you got any cool plans coming up? Oh yeah, April. I'm gassed up. I'm gonna go to Ohio. Why? Because usually the reaction I get from people like, why would you want to go to Ohio? Like, why are you excited?
Ohio.
It's like, yo, it's the homies. That's why. I'm actually, I was looking it up. There's a roadside attraction in Ohio I want to see, but it's so many more hours west from Will that I'm like, I don't think I need to go that far just to see this one thing for like a minute and then
that's
turn
the
back
thing,
around.
right? Like when you're at Will's, like you're barely in Ohio.
Exactly.
Like
there's
you're 10 minutes into Ohio?
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'd have to still travel so much farther just to go see this goofy sign that like,
yeah, like it would be different if like Will was on the other border,
right?
Like, not the border to PA. Like
I
guess West Virginia, PA, same shit.
I have considered, depending on how the trip gets planned out, making plans to go to a spot that's north of Will's, couple hours out, Ohio Fish Rescue, and checking out their facility because they do offer tours.
Where is it?
I can't remember the town offhand anymore.
Like, what city is it close to?
I can't. I looked this up like
Cleveland or anything.
I looked this up like a year ago, so I cannot remember. I just remember looking it up and being like, it's like a couple of hours north of where Will is. If I planned it right, it wouldn't be the worst thing. But yeah, these guys are just crazy. They took a whole in-ground swimming pool and made it a fish tank for just really large rescue fish.
It's in Strongsville, Ohio.
Yeah, see, like, I couldn't remember what the hell town.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I'm going to look at where... Oh. Dude, I will say that the one guy has an absolutely beautiful head of hair.
Yes, he does.
Like, just for anybody out there, he has like, his hair is like very gray on the top. It looks like his mullet is not as gray, but there's a lot of volume and featheriness on top. And then the other dude just looks like your average guy with like a short beard.
And it's like, it's a family run thing. They just, they love fish, they love animals, and they wanted to do a rescue operation for fish. And so, like, that's what they do. And they've got just hundreds of tanks and thousands of cool fish, all sorts of random shit.
Yeah, and they have a YouTube and obviously a Facebook page.
That's the whole way I even found out about him was a YouTube video popped up of
they have 178,000.
They'd received a tank from the show Tanked, one of the custom built ones on the actual TV show from I can't remember the basketball player, but it was a snake tank that they had built. So it was supposed to be snakes could climb on the trees above, and then there was a small fish tank below it where the fish would live. And it was completely sealed on the top of the fish tank, so the fish couldn't get in, or the snakes couldn't get in and eat the fish. Or they were separated somehow, I think. I can't fully remember how it was laid out now. It's been years since I've seen it, the episode. But either way, the fish were safe from the snakes eating them, but the snakes could still cohabitat in the same large enclosure. And it was cool as shit. And I just happened to stumble upon this YouTube video of these guys like receiving it and moving it into their facility. And I was like, that's a wild facility. And I started seeing like the in-ground pool with like 20-foot long fish in it. And it's like, yo, I don't know if they're actually 20 feet, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like they've got like huge arapaima and shit living in there.
Dude, they have the biggest pacu in the world.
Yeah, like,
and it's like really big.
It is insane, some of the things that they have in their possession just because of what they do for a living.
So yeah, it'd be far. It'd be like a 2.5 hour drive, I think, from Wills, because it's southwest of Cleveland.
Yeah, I just remembered it being like a couple of hours more, and I was like, well, if you planned it right, so you were there for like a day ahead of everything, you could make a trip of it and then come back to hanging with everybody. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. But it's a wish list thing, because that just seems... One
year you just take an extra day off.
Right, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
After I've worked in this company for 2 years, I get 2 weeks.
Yeah, clearly those guys are not going to be giving up on that the next couple of years.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like
there's
honestly,
way too much there.
It's like, I just want to see the pool in person. Like, I've seen it on video. I want to be there in person and look at this full-length swimming pool just filled with animals. Like, you people really are insane, and I love it. Like, that is incredible. And what they do is just great work. I mean, saving animals that otherwise may not have had an opportunity to, keep on living, giving them a great life. Can't beat that. They've even got a bird that lives inside the shop, just hanging out all the time as a rescue bird.
Now that I have the map open, so I was looking for that place. I have it where the entire screen is my trip to get to Will's. And if I look at it and then I look at where I used to be, it's like, oh man, I was so close. In perspective to now.
Yeah, it's like I've added a half a day or more, right?
More
of it.
Like a half of an actual 24-hour day. It's from where I live right now to Will's is around 20 hours of driving. If I drive to your house, I add an hour.
And what was it from your old spot in the Toronto area?
It would take me 7 hours to drive from door to door.
Oh,
dude, yeah, there was the first time I went by myself to go. Actually, I went down to go to a Leafs game with Will on a weekend. The Leafs were playing the Penguins on a Saturday night, and Will had season tickets. And so I left work at 3:30 and got to Will's at 10:30. but I was going pretty good. Like I was probably doing 10 miles an hour over the limit everywhere I went. Like, so I wasn't like driving reckless, but I was definitely driving fast enough to get pulled over.
10.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
you might have been on the upper limit, but yeah.
Well, see, I remember the first time I went to the States, I asked somebody and I said, hey, like, what's the amount that I can drive over the limit? And I'm never going to get bothered. And they said, 8, you're fine. 9, you're mine. That's what they said to me. That's like how you can go. So you can go 8 miles an hour and you're probably never going to get pulled over on the highway. Obviously, if you're doing, 28 and a 20, you might get pulled over. But on like the highway, so if it's like a 65, you can do 73, never worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, like if it's 60 doing 75, you won't even get bothered. Like at least in my area. Like
yeah, I don't want to risk that. See,
you know what I mean? Like we do 80. We do 80 whenever possible on most highways, whether it's a 60 or a 65 mile an hour zone in this area.
That's how it is here in California too.
We're not bothered, but basically it's once you break 80 on those highways, that's when you get the attention of the stadies.
So if you're driving and it was like a really open highway, like there's barely anybody and you're doing 80 miles an hour, you don't think that the cop would ever pull you over? Or it's like still not the greatest chance, but like you could get pulled over.
I would say this. I would believe only the rookie is going to bother with 3 hours of paperwork for that piddly of a stop. The rest of the stadies are going to wait for you to be doing 90, 95 in that same area. And now it's worth their time.
Even if it's like an open highway. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like now it's worth their time. He's like, now it's getting egregious. But like 80's just flow of traffic on an open highway around here in most cases. Like if you're in the left lane, 80 is flow of traffic. I was actually shocked today going home because I was in the left lane behind one of my coworkers and I'm doing 80 and he's gaining a farther ahead of me. And I'm like, buddy, you're pushing like 90, 95 now. You really should let off that. Like you are getting really risky.
You'll probably make a comment tomorrow and be like, yo, dude, you were ripping yesterday.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like full disclosure. We're recording the night before Thanksgiving. So like that is a night that gets considered amateur hour, right? Like a lot of people get fucking wasted at the bars the night before Thanksgiving. Like, and then they go to Thanksgiving the next day. So they know the police and all, they're out in full force. That this is not the time to be pushing your luck. Like go the flow of traffic and do the 80 that we can get away with right now because the traffic is moving and call that the win. Like you don't need to push your luck, pal. And yes, I will give him shit because he's the youngin' of the group. We got to give him shit. When the youngin' does the youngin' stuff, you got to be like, listen, it's the older, wiser guy in the shop. I got to tell you, you're being a dummy.
I know some people have to learn
for themselves.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sometimes one of those people, but
me too. Sometimes
I will listen. Depends on how set I am in trying.
Yeah. Well, looking at the clock, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of our time, so I really do appreciate everybody out there who checks us out every week. You guys really are the MVPs. Check out ShedtimePodcast.com if you want to find the Patreon to give us any support. We do appreciate it, and shout out to the patrons. You guys really are the best, the truest of the MVPs out there. With that, I'm going to send it on over to Uncle Chris to bring us on home.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you. Of course, you can go to ShedtimePodcast.com. Check out all of our stuff over there, including links to the Green Room, which is on Friday nights on French Electro-Pop's YouTube channel at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Come by and kick it. And honestly, I think that's everything for me. So everybody be safe, have a good week, and live your best life. James, over to you.
As always, shout out to all the Shedheads for all you guys' continuous support. We greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure you're leaving those 5-star reviews. Check out the website, shedtimepodcast.com, for all your links, all that good stuff. Other than that, I'm going to end it as I always do, sending up positive vibes. Kiss by fives. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them. And as always, a little bag or dab will do ya.
That is a fact, Jack. So one last time, my friends, shedtimepodcast.com has links for everything, Patreon, the show, the merch store where you can cop a dope-ass hat, a t-shirt, and so much more. So with all of that, I'm going to tell you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool, don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, try and have some fun, because this is the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out. Blow one up and blow one out. It's coming.